WTOP News Time, 10:07. An aide to federal drug czar William Bennett says plans to fight the district's crime and drug problem range from imprisoning drug dealers on barges on the Potomac River to evicting convicted dope dealers from public housing. Bennett has said he may make D.C. a test case in the war on drugs by designating it the nation's first high-intensity...
A person up, it really does, to see young life just lying out there dying.
We're looking at the citizens standing on a corner trying to talk to one another and just waiting for something. And while it's true in a lot of cases, and many others, they are drug dealers, waiting for a customer to come by so they can peddle their drugs. We are unable, because we don't have a loitering law in the District of Columbia, to move these people on, even in the most drug-infested areas where we all know that they're selling drugs.
The police do fight the drugs war relentlessly. More than 100 drug dealers are arrested every week. But the rise in drug-related crime seems unstoppable. Anyone arrested in Washington is now routinely tested for drugs.
In March 1984, when they started doing these tests on a systematic basis, about a third of everyone went up to about 40% in late 87, and the cocaine rate went over 60%. There's just been a dramatic increase in the sort of level of drug involvement.
I just went up on his own and just put my arm behind
a Washington hospital. A patient describes the effects of a drug unknown in Britain, but widely used in Washington, PCP.
Did you hear voices or?
Yeah, like the devil, something telling me, you strong, I gave you the strength, and no one can stop me.
So they brought you to the hospital?
Yeah, I was in the truck. They took me to the precinct first. I was in the back of the paddy wagon truck.
Restraints and all that?
No, they handcuffed me. They couldn't get the handcuffs on me.
PCP can really make a person act very crazy. I've had some patients who attack buses and cars. One patient in particular liked to attack Mercedes. They would take off all their clothes. The anesthetic effect would allow them to have a broken limb and still walk or run without feeling it. And I've had patients come in with gunshot wounds to the chest, requiring no anesthesia to put the chest tube in because they're already under anesthesia from the drug itself.
Maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, he got involved in PCP. And I was terrified. I got to the point where he couldn't come in my house. If I knew he had been across the street and he was involved in PCP, he could not come in. I would lock the doors and turn off the lights while I would call the police.
Hey, I know that stuff burns the nose, don't it? Wake up on me.
Nobody knows who.
You can take a 98-pound little girl, and she can have the strength of 4 men. You never know what to expect. Very bizarre behavior. They can be very suicidal. They can be very homicidal. Like I said, they have unbelievable strength. You try to restrain these people to protect them from themselves. It can take several men my size.
I can't.
Over the past 2 years, many PCP users have been turning to another drug, crack.
Crack is smokable cocaine, and what you get there is more of an euphoria. And the problem with crack now is short-lived, 10 to 12 seconds, and then the patient immediately wants more crack. And they will smoke crack rather than eat, sleep, or have any other satisfaction of bodily functions because the crack fools the brain.
My daughter Shirley was a kind, giving, sleep all day and roam all night.
Okay.
The environment is terrible. No kind of home life. There's a bunch of people just sitting around doing nothing, just want more crack. That's all that's interested in, is where we can get some more crack.
The drug cartels that are moving this stuff around the world are business people. And they determined some years ago that they could diversify by creating what we call a poor man's cocaine, a crack derivative that is not only cheaper, but which is more quickly addictive. And what you're seeing in Washington is the effects of almost massive distribution and sale of crack to lower-income people.
It would appear that with the cheaper packaging of crack, it's now $5 or $10 a hit, so that my teenage patients could now afford to use a drug which usually more affluent patients had used in the past. The crack patient starts to sell crack in order to feed his habit. He has to take over turf from PCP dealers with their semi-automatic Uzis and other weaponry. And there you have just a conflagration taking place on our streets.
The night that Tony died, he ran into two of his buddies, and the two guys went to purchase some drugs. Instead of purchasing the drugs, they stole the man's drugs and ran. As they were pulling off, Tony was getting in the car, and the guy started shooting with a Uzi, a submachine gun. Tony got shot in the back.
The Mini Uzi, Tech 9s, Mac 11s, they have capacities up to 32 cartridges per magazine. You really don't have to aim the point where you're going to shoot and just start squeezing the trigger. More than likely, innocent bystanders in the crowd will be shot. If a person's in the car, they're going to fire right through the windows. The bullets penetrate the doors in a lot of cases. And as I say, at high capacity, there's many shots being fired. Therefore, a lot of innocent people, bystanders, to be hit. And on this target that I have here, I fired approximately 30 shots at it in a matter of 15 seconds or less.
When I got in, the police told me 3 guys had gotten shot. One wasn't going to make it, and it was Tony. And I went in there and I said, "Oh my God, my baby." And he reached out for me. He said, "Mom, I'm sorry." And he passed away. That's when he took his last breath.
1:15 in the morning, and the first of the night shootings. Washington is now so violent at night that city leaders want to take children off the streets by imposing a curfew on under 18.